Hi everyone, it's me, Ikale Sunflower. So I thought I'd hop on today to do a flip through of this deck. It's called The Otherworld Tarot and it's by Alison Williams and artwork is by Sarah Noel. Now, I've had this deck in my collection for quite a while and I haven't seen much flip throughs of it. I recently showcased it on my beginner tarot decks video and one of my subscribers has asked me to do a flip through. So it comes in this beautiful two-part pull-out box. I'll just read the back of the box for you. So it's got here, The Otherworld Tarot was born from a love of fairy art with a colourful twist. All the cards are powerfully illustrated with fairies, elves, magicians and other fairy folk. Filled with vibrant colour, this exciting deck brings every tarot reading to life. The accompanying companion guide details the measures of each card and also helps provide a quick start for reading the cards for friends and family. Find out why the Death card isn't actually so bad and why the Sun is the most positive card. Use this tarot deck for guidance through these hectic times and learn how to get what you want out of a lifelong reading. So that's the back of the box. Okay, so let's have a quick flip through the guidebook. So this is a Schiffer deck, published, I think it was 2010. So the author and the illustrator both give their dedications at the beginning. It gives you a little forward thing here. So she says here, I first discovered tarot shortly after being struck down by a debilitating illness known as ME, or chronic fatigue syndrome. I have been an avid reader of tarot cards for many years now and have collected many beautiful decks along the way. Looking at some of the other decks out there, I started to wonder how difficult it would be to do my own, but I knew that my artistic skills weren't really up for the job. Then I thought of Sarah. I had first bought some fairy art from Sarah through eBay, where else, and I then commissioned further art from her for the business I was running at the time. Her use of colour and attention to detail inspired me to ask her whether she would be interested in designing a tarot deck together. Thankfully, Sarah was so excited about this, as I was, and so the Otherworld Tarot was born. The only thing left to say is that we hope you get as much enjoyment using this deck and book as we have designed them. We wish you many years of tarot reading. That's from Alison Williams. So it kind of like outlines all the major and minor cards, conclusion and a bibliography. So it gives you an introduction to tarot, tells you how to get started. It talks about setting the scene, telling the story. Let me just read a bit about telling the story. Most tarot spreads make the cards into a story, linking past, present and future. Take your time explaining each card and also how each card relates to the previous one, as if the person you are reading for has any questions. Sometimes it is difficult to link certain cards. In these cases, it is best to come back to these cards later on in the reading with a link when a link is perhaps more visible. Remembering the meaning of all 78 cards can be difficult to start off with, so it is wise to keep your notebook with you and refer to it as needed. And it's got here about dealing with difficulties. It's got popular spreads, so it's got a 3-card spread here. So this number 1 is the past, number 2 is the present, which is a reflection of current circumstances, and number 3 is the outcome, which can give you the possible outcome. Then you've got the Celtic cross spread. So position, it's quite a different one actually to what I'm used to. So this is the present. Position 2 is the influences on you now. Position 3 is your life. Position 4 is the foundation. Position 5 is past influences. Position 6 is the future influences. Position 7 is your feelings. Position 8 is your environment. Position 9 is hopes and fears. And position 10 is the outcome. And when it talks about the major arcana, um, let me read you up a bit about the major arcana. So it says here, the major arcana is simply the name of the first 22 cards in the tarot. Each card symbolizes a situation that we could typically find ourselves in at some point in our lives. Some of these cards bring good news, whilst others bring us guidance to help us through difficult times. A few of the cards in the major arcana may also represent people we may meet and teach us how to deal with them effectively. Despite there being so many different tarot decks in the world today, the major arcana and the meanings of the cards vary so little from deck to deck. The pictures and occasionally the numbers may be slightly different, but the meanings remain pretty much the same across all decks. This means that once you have learnt that what each card means, you should be able to pick up the tarot deck and read it. Okay, well, it gives you a black and white picture for each card. So, for example, the 4, the keywords are start, leap with faith, and sending answers. When it gives you a depiction, like a page of her definition of the 4. There doesn't seem to be any reverse meanings for the cards. So she does that for all of the 78 cards for both the major and the minor arcana. Let me just see what she says for the minor arcana. Okay, so the minor arcana. The minor arcana is made up of 56 cards and consists of 4 suits: cups, wands, pentacles and swords. Each suit is associated with different energies and activities. The cups represent emotional energy, everything to do with love and feelings. The wands are associated with work and career and can also symbolize moments of action. Pentacles represent financial, material security. The swords is the 4th suit and symbolizes thought, process and mental abilities. Each of the 10 numbered cards is associated with a particular event or feeling, and the final 4 cards, each of the suits, are generally considered to represent either actual people in your life or characteristics you may want them to require. So I think that's the suit the court card she's talking about. And then again, it just gives you a card and a bit, and you know, quite a bit for a meaning. So that's about it for the book. That's about it for the book. I mean, it just gives you a picture of the artist and a picture of the author. So let me just read the conclusion first, sorry. So it's got here, you will find that the Otherworld Tarot can bring you guidance and clarity to the challenges that life can bring you. It will take some time to become familiar with each of the cards, but let me assure you, it will be time well spent. So start your new tarot journey with Otherworld Tarot. Allow yourself to be open to the magic it will bring you. Then it gives you a bibliography of some other decks. I mean, it gives you a picture here of the author, who's called Alison Williams, and it's got here, Alison Williams was born and raised in the north of England and has recently moved to Scotland to be with her fiancé. She is a trained teacher and also worked in finance for a number of years. When she is not writing or walking her West Highland Terrier, Alison likes the typical pursuits of any 30-year-old, such as sewing, embroidery, knitting and reading, and the latest Harry Potter instalment. She is a keen reader of the tarot and has amassed a large collection of tarot decks over the years. This is her first book, but she hopes not her last. I mean, this here is the artist, and this is Sarah Noel. Sarah Noel lives in Bradford, England. She has been a fan of fantasy art since she was little, inspired by such films as The Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and their creators, Brian and Wendy Froud. Sarah has been drawing fairies, unicorns and dragons for as long as she can remember, and even donated her A-level art project entirely to dragons. Her growing interest in fairy art, which is now her main focus, has been greatly influenced by the work of Arthur Rackham. So that's the guidebook. Okay, so let's start off with the major arcana of this deck. So what I like about the major arcana is that they've got like a kind of like a greyish background. I mean, some people might be put off by this, but I quite like the colouring. And it's got a keyword at the bottom of each card. So the Fool, it's got here a leap of faith. He's playing with fire there, and he's got a snake in the background. Okay, so the Magician, the keyword for that is focus. He's got all these tools there, and there's the affinity, like in the form of like petals around his feet. So he's got the wand, the sword. I can't see the other suits, maybe you can, but that's a nice thing. Then you have the High Priestess, and this is mediation. She's got her 2 pillows there. She's got the moon above her head and the stars. The Empress looks very pregnant in this picture. You can see this, the nature, earthy aspect at the bottom, in the background, and it's creativity for the keyword. The Emperor, clarity. Hierophant, spiritual guidance. The Lovers, it's got relationships. It's the angel there. The Chariot, different energies. It's an interesting keyword. Justice is karma. So I think this deck is loosely based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. Hermit, reflection. I also think this will be a good deck for beginners. You know, the guidebook's quite informative as well. The Wheel of Fortune, change. Strength, courage. The Hangman, limbo. I like that keyword to describe the Hangman. Death, endings and beginnings. Temperance, moderation. Devil, temptation. Tower, new way of life. Star, renewal. The Sun, positivity, sorry. Moon, illusions. Judgment is consequence. And the World is success. So these are the backs of the cards. The usual shiffer glossy finish. Okay, so let's move on to the suit of wands. Okay, so these are kind of like a tealy green colour. They look, I don't know how they look like in the camera. So the Ace of Wands, you've got new action. 2 of Wands is opportunity. They're a bit pippish actually. 3 of Wands is growth. 4 of Wands is achievement. I mean, the book does have other keywords that you can relate to, but I think these are quite good keywords for beginners. 5 of Wands is conflict. 6 of Wands is victory. Got the reef there that you get in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and the horse. 7 of Wands is defense. 8 of Wands is movement. 9 of Wands is staying power. 10 of Wands is exhaustion. Then moving on to the court cards, you have the Page of Wands, which says creative inspiration. Knight of Wands, life-changing move. Queen of Wands, honesty. And the King of Wands is strength of will. Okay, so let's move on to the cup cards, which are a similar colour, but a bit more bluer than the wands. Okay, so you have the Ace of Cups, which is love. 2 of Cups, balance. 3 of Cups, celebrations. 4 of Cups, boredom. 5 of Cups, sadness. 6 of Cups, nostalgia. 7 of Cups, choice. 8 of Cups, moving on. 9 of Cups, true happiness, and 10 of cups, peace. That's interesting. Then moving on to the court cards, you have the page of cups, which is birth, the knight of cups, romance, the queen of cups, nurturing, and the king of cups, which is caring. So moving on to the suit of swords, these are another shade of blue. So you have the ace of swords, which is growing mental energy, two of swords, imbalance, three of swords, pain, heartbreak, four of swords, recovery, five of swords, admit defeat, six of swords, tranquility, seven of swords, underhandedness, sorry, eight of swords, imprisoned by fear. I do like that keyword. Nine of swords, doubts and fears. 10 of swords, new beginnings ahead. Then you've got the page of swords, think things through. The knight of swords, change through conflict. The queen of swords, patience and strength. And the king of swords, truth. Moving on to the final suit, which is the suit of Pentacles, which are red. I do think that this should have been green and the wand should have been this colour, but maybe there's a reason for it in the book. So the Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, sorry, is financial improvements. Good keyword. Two of Pentacles, temporary balance. Three of Pentacles, reward. Four of Pentacles, complacency. Five of Pentacles, poverty. Six of Pentacles, sharing. Seven of Pentacles, hard choice. Eight of Pentacles, skills. Nine of Pentacles, on the right track. 10 of Pentacles, happiness. Page of Pentacles is moving forward. Knight of Pentacles is perseverance. Queen of Pentacles is prosperity. And the King of Pentacles is authority. So I think it would make a great deck for a beginner. I know that everyone doesn't like the keywords, but I guess you've got the choice to kind of cut all this off if you choose to, like the borders off. But I think the borders actually separate the suits. And as I said, it would be good for a beginner. You also get just a couple of other cards in the deck. So you get the usual Schiffer, was it Red Arrow kind of card. And then here is a, it just gives you more Schiffer. It's like a more Schiffer titles card. So this is the Otherworld Tarot. Thanks so much for watching, and I will add a link to this tarot deck in the description bar. See you in my next video. Bye.